Hello, this is a short demonstration of the index and match feature in Excel. Hello, I'm Stuart Warner of Financial Fluency, and I'm going to run through with you a super feature called index and match. This can be used as a replacement and enhancement for VLOOKUP. So this demonstration assumes that you're familiar with VLOOKUP and also some of the issues with VLOOKUP. For instance, the fact that it can't look left and the fact that you have to know what column you're looking up from. Index and match is a superior replacement for VLOOKUP and is definitely worth a little bit of your time to investigate how it looks. So that's the basic what we're going to do. Have a look at VLOOKUP, index by itself, match by itself. We'll look at both index and match, and then we'll compare it back to VLOOKUP. Take about 6 minutes or in all, and I'm using Excel 2007. Okay, so to start with, let's have a little bit of a recap on traditional VLOOKUP. You'll see from the spreadsheet here that I've got a very simple data array. I've got 4 customers, and each customer has a reference. So principle is we can use VLOOKUP to find out which customer has which reference. Now in cell B8, I'm using a bit of data validation here. So you drop that down, I can choose customers 1, 2, 3, and 4. By the way, if you want to know how to do this, just drop me a message via the Financial Fluency website and I will let you know how. Okay, so I select customer 2 and it tells me the code for customer 2 is EFDG, and similarly with customer 3 and 4 the same thing works. In cell C9 I've put the formula there so you can see exactly what I've used. If I just push F2 you'll see it's the same formula as I got in C9. So I'm looking up whatever's in cell B8, which is the customer number, and the table or the data array is from A3 to B6. And here's one of the issues of VLOOKUP. I've got to specify it's a second column along. And the problem is, as you may be aware, when you insert additional columns or change your data, that too will also need to change. The final bit is a 0, which is always very important to put there if you want an exact match. So those of you who use VLOOKUP hopefully are aware of that particular issue. Right, so that's a quick, very quick recap on VLOOKUP. Let's move straight on to index and match. Now I'm going to break it up. First of all, talk about index, second talk about match. Firstly, index. As I put here, it's with index you're trying to find out what is in a particular cell. And so if you tell Excel where to look, it will tell you what is inside that particular cell. Let's demonstrate. Same customer list as before on the previous worksheet, and in yellow here, so from cells A9 to B10, got a bit of demonstration. Now, first of all, with index, and the formula for cell A10 is replicated in cell C9, so you can see what's going on there. So I said I want to index this particular column here, and I want to know what's on the first row of that column. So given the column, tell me what's in the first row, and Excel is telling me it's A, B, C, D. Just demonstrate this. If I change that number there to 2 and say what's on the second row, it will tell me it's E, F, D, G. So hopefully you can see that what index does is it tells you what's within a particular location. Now match, moving on to that, does something different, and this one tells you where something is. So you say give Excel something to look for and it'll tell you where it actually is in terms of location. So let's have a little demonstration of this. In cell B10 here, and the formula is replicated in cell C10, I've asked it to match, and inverted commas, A, B, C, D within this particular column. So that's B4 to B7. So I'm saying, where is A, B, C, D within B4 to 7? there's a 0 on the end, which is exactly the same as VLOOKUP, which is saying what an exact match. And so this formula is telling me that ABCD is actually in row 1. So I just changed the formula again to demonstrate, and I changed the ABCD to EFDG. Push return. It tells me the EFDG is actually in row 2. Change it back to ABCD, and ABCD is in row 1. So looking at this, we've got something which tells us what's in the location and something which is saying where is the location. And hopefully you can see what's coming next. It's a combination of these two that actually replicates VLOOKUP. So moving down to the green section here of this particular worksheet, I've again got a drop down list here of 1, 2, 3 and 4, and in cell B13 it's telling me that whatever's in cell 1 is ABCD, in 2 EFDG. Now how is it doing that? The formula is replicated in cell C13. First of all, if we just focus on the first part of this formula, I am saying I want to index B4 to B7, so very similar to the bit in C9, but as opposed to putting row 1, the 1 bit I've replicated or replaced with the bit I've highlighted now, which is the match bit. So I've inserted, or as Excel terms, nested an additional formula here. So let's look at additional nesting formula. I'm saying I want to match whatever is in B12, and the B12 is the 2, and the 2 I'm looking for in A4 to A7. Now A4 to A7 is the 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm saying on what row is customer 2. Now obviously customer 2 is on row 2, and then I know from indexing that on row 2 the next column is EFDG. So let's just illustrate that again. If I change the 2 to a 3, it's saying I want to start with the nested bit first. I want to match 3 on here. 3 is on the 3rd row. The index bit is saying to me what is on the 3rd row, which is HIJK. Now the beauty of this is it can go left, it can go right, and the B4 to A7, if you insert columns, that will change relatively. But also, if you're using named ranges, it becomes even cleverer still. Just to conclude on here, I've done the same exercise exactly with VLOOKUP, so you can see the comparison between the two. And we're looking at whatever's in B12 from this particular data array here, and it's column number 2. But obviously it can only go from left to right as opposed to right to left. Now, a lot of these things, in my experience, it's best having a little play around with. If you want a copy of this demonstration spreadsheet I've used, simply just pop me an email at the website address here, financial-fluency.co.uk, and I'll certainly send that back to you. You can have a play around, and hopefully you can have seen a little bit of the insight into index and match, and have a go at using it wherever you've got VLOOKUPs, and I hope it improves your spreadsheet use. Any feedback? I'll be delighted to hear from you. Thank you.